Today we're going to discuss the downfall of one of the biggest crypto exchanges of all time, FTX. We're going to discuss the crazy, evil story of how it all took place. But before we do, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. They're calling this FTX scandal as worse than Madoff. But why is everybody saying that? Well, let's discuss the background of FTX and how we got to here. FTX was created by the billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried and was one of the fastest growing crypto exchanges of all time. Fried was worth $16 billion at the start of this week, and now it's all gone. FTX was a well-known name in the crypto space. They spent a ridiculous amount on advertising and endorsements. Last year, FTX even bought the naming rights for the Miami Heat Arena in a 19-year deal worth a reported $135 million. They also spent large amounts of money on the biggest athletes in the world, including Tom Brady and Steph Curry, and also had partnerships with some of the world's biggest sports brands like the Golden State Warriors. Being a fast-growing exchange, they had a lot of competitors, and Binance was one of the biggest. Binance and FTX have a long, twisted history. Now, the whole FTX drama started on November 5th when some crypto analysts saw somebody move 23 million FTT tokens that was worth approximately $530 million. These tokens were moved to a Binance wallet. When a person or organization moves crypto assets from outside an exchange to an exchange, it's normally right before they sell or liquidate those assets. So on November 6th, the next day, the owner of Binance tweeted, "Due to recent revelations that have come to light, Binance would sell its holding of FTT tokens, which was about 5% of the total FTA tokens in existence, which was worth about $580 million before the crash of FTX. The owner of Binance later confirmed that it was him who transferred the tokens because he was planning to sell because he wanted to avoid taking a huge loss if the exchange went bankrupt. Now, when people heard that, they went crazy, and with good reason. The price of FTX tokens crashed. So in response, Bankman-Fried, the owner of FTX, said that FTX's sister company, Alameda Research, would buy all tokens that were being sold, and their balance sheet was strong, which slightly stabilized the prices. Now, Alameda Research and FTX are both owned by Bankman-Fried. They're different legal entities, but they belong to the same person. So later, a huge document was shared on CoinDesk.com, one of the biggest crypto websites in the world, about Alameda Research's balance sheet. Now, this is where the story gets crazy. The document revealed that Alameda Research had about $15 billion on their balance sheet as of June 30th this year. Now, that's a lot of money, but the strange part is that half of that balance was in their own token, and they used that token to take out loans in cash and other assets that were tax-free. Now, this is why the story gets crazy. It's like an arcade going to the bank and using the value of their in-house tokens that the kids use to play the games in the arcade, as leverage against loans, which of course you can't do because that arcade has complete control over the value of their own tokens. Now, Bankman-Fried would transfer tokens from FTX to Alameda Research, his second company, and then take out loans against that value under Alameda Research and then transfer the tokens back to FTX while Alameda Research keeps the loan cash. So in essence, Bankman-Fried created an infinite banking system where he had complete control to manipulate the value of the FTX token and take out loans against that value. Now, that's an unlimited money printing machine in which you never have to pay taxes because it's a loan. Now it gets stranger because before the crash, the entire market cap of the FTX token was about $2 billion. So that means that every FTT token in existence was only worth $2 billion. Now, how did FTX have $8 billion worth of FTT tokens on their balance sheets? That's impossible. So with this CoinDesk document and the new revelations, the market responded negatively and the token started crashing. So users, of course, panicked and started to withdraw money from the FTX exchange. That's when FTX ran into what's called liquidity issues. Simply, they didn't have the money to give to the users who were withdrawing. The simple definition of liquidity is the ability to convert an asset to cash or acquire cash, and how easy that is. Now let's get back to this FTX drama. So on November 8th, Binance sent a letter of an intent to buy FTX, and they were going to try to bail them out of their trouble. So while Binance was doing due diligence, they found out about this unlimited money printing machine. They saw that there was a lot of irregularities going on, and they backed out of the deal, which caused the token to crash even further because people panicked because Binance was no longer going to bail them out. Now, let me give you another example of how this is completely wrong, right? Let's say I use my computer's printer to print up $1 million Armando dollars with my face on it, and I sold one of those dollars to one of my good friends for $10, right? Then because I sold one for $10, I value the remaining Armando dollars at $10 each. And now I claim that I'm worth almost $10 million. Of course, it's not true because I could not find buyers for the remaining Armando dollars. But this is exactly how Bankman-Fried and FTX calculated their money on hand. So the headlines that say Bankman-Fried lost 94% of his net worth are not completely accurate because he never had it in the first place. So early morning on November 10th, Bankman-Fried tweeted that he blamed himself for FTX's collapse. He admitted that he effed up and he should have done better with both companies. Now, the saga continued as Bankman-Fried on November 11th stepped down as CEO, and FTX officially declared bankruptcy. And it's not a small bankruptcy, it's a huge bankruptcy with over 100,000 creditors or people that they owe. The bankruptcy is 23 pages long, and it says that FTX has between 10 billion and 50 billion in assets, but they owe roughly the same amount to creditors. Now, just to put this in perspective, it's the same size as Enron's bankruptcy back in the early 2000s. So a company that was worth $32 billion just 7-8 days ago is now bankrupt. In response to this bankruptcy, many crypto exchanges, including BlockFi, immediately suspended withdrawals of FTX in response to this news, making the situation worse, with many analysts declaring the token dead and saying that the value of the tokens are zero. Now, as a dagger to an already worsening situation, Miami Heat cut complete ties with FTX and now say they will rename the arena. Now, a lot of people are asking themselves, why? What happened? How did something so great, so powerful, so innovative have such a big downfall? Well, we got a little insight into FTX's operations when a story appeared in November 11th on CoinDesk that revealed that FTX, which was ran in the Bahamas, was run by Bankman-Fried and his inner circle, who were also his roommates. They ran both companies in a luxury penthouse where apparently they all lived. And here's the kicker, they all supposedly were dating each other and running the entire company like a frat house with unlimited money. Now, this is one of the craziest stories I've heard in my 10 years in crypto, but it kind of reminds me of the dot-com boom. Many early industries have a lot of corruption and experience, and this is expected as new tech finds its way and matures. There's a lot of people worried about the state of crypto, but remember, many cryptos don't represent this type of risk that FTX and Alameda Research had. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please share this with your friends and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I appreciate you, and thanks for watching.